So what we're going to see today is going to be very different from what we saw yesterday in terms of, strategies.
Okay. Winter, what about the Shrek? Is it just too dangerous for any of these teams to let that through today?
Yeah, I think that hero is just way too strong. And I'm going back to what Sat pointed out before this, like when you talk about Secret, they are, I think, the only team, like the strongest team that utilizes the advantage. And when they're pushing out the lanes, they're pressuring you. Every time you make a small mistake, if you look at their games, you give away a pickoff, you're not only giving away a pickoff, you're giving away a tower, or you're giving away Roshan or map control. They're going to gain something every time you make a misstep.
Right. All agreed?
I agree that I think they're really good at using their advantage. But what I'm looking forward to today is the lower bracket games, that we might see something new there as well. Obviously, in the winner bracket, we're going to expect that, seeing Secret come out. But in the lower bracket, they're now in the best of threes. They don't have best of one pressure anymore.
Yeah, absolutely right. Empire, Phoenix, and Cloud9 versus VG Gaming. And Cloud9 meeting VG again on that road. It would have been Na'Vi or Fiji, and either way around, it's kind of the same thing that happened last time, and one of them is looking for revenge. How do you see that one panning out? It's the last game of the day.
Oh, I think that could be one to look forward to, actually. I think C9 and VG is very hard to predict, but it's always spectacular seeing C9 play. I think they need to recover well from yesterday, though.
Yeah. Is it, Malini, is it a good matchup for C9, bearing in mind that they can be a bit random, be a bit crazy with stuff, and does that kind of hurt VG? Maybe they don't like playing against.
Yeah, I think it's actually a really good matchup for Cloud9. As we saw in day one, they actually looked really strong. They almost beat LGD in their opening match, and
he did go for the Desolate, hit 5-6 times. Yeah, might actually get him. So Clock or Tusk could set him up for now. When Fear gets another item, I think only Tusk is.
I'm just liking the approach right now of Complexity. They don't want to drag this game out. Don't give EG space. Get Desolator, push up, and look for the victory. Maybe now around next Roshan, way to go, and just keep, they seem to have a real solid plan. I know, talking to a couple of Complexity guys before this game actually happened, they were saying, you know what, we're not really too scared of EG. We come in here, we know what we want to do, we know how we can achieve it, and it should be a 2-0 to Complexity if they do things the way they plan to do them. And right now, the plan's working for Complexity very, very well.
Absolutely. 8 for 3. See Zizzy trying to get in position here to pressure Fear. Now, unfortunately for them, the setup they have there is Chen. He's pretty garbage at that, so that is not going to happen. Just blink out and TP out.
And no control from him. Where do you want to go with Swindermelons for his next item? So we're looking at the Aghanim right now. He's sitting on 3.3k gold on the Queen of Pain. Is this when you look for that control you're searching for? Orchid obviously won't be as effective, but you can go for something more like a Hex.
I think Hex or BKB are the good choices here. BKB will allow him to ignore the song, or more importantly, not just get blown up by Sand King Lina if he wants to go for an aggressive engage. Alternatively, like you said, Orchid or Hex, I don't. It's actually going to be a pretty early Orchid anyway. If you consider he went for Axe first, you could get an Orchid right now at, say, minute 22. That would still be before Fear's Manta time, quite a bit before even.
Especially when Fear bought the full Vlad, so yeah, you're right, delays it up a lot.
It's worth considering. I think Hex is probably the more stable choice because Manta will be coming out inevitably. It's an inevitable pickup here for Fear as the next item. Yeah, I say Hex probably the absolute best here, and then they have to try to rely on not getting caught out with the Quap, which, they have two really good engagers in Tusk and Clockwork to set her up instead, and if they give her the Aegis again, she's actually safe even without a BKB.
Maybe we can look towards the situation right now. So Complexity, we're going to assume they're going to get the Tier 2 tower without any kind of counter initiation from EG, unless EG really want to heavily commit into something like that. I almost feel like they just want to buy some time until that point. Let's think about Complexity moving up to the Tier 3 towers. What do they need to get past EG's lineup, knowing they're going up against such big AoE control, be it through the biggest one, Song of the Siren, but also coming in through Line Strike Arrays, Winter's Curse, all these things. How do they actually get all the way up and take a Rakta without putting themselves in terrible, terrible danger?
I like the idea of getting a pipe in this particular game. I think against Sand King Lina, it's a really great item choice. Either that or a secondary Glimmer Cape on Chen. So the way EG will be looking to defend high ground will most definitely be either a wraparound with Song of the Siren or just flat out just walking into them and trying to catch and set up for a two-man Burrow Epi. But should you be able to Glimmer Cape one of those targets during that, they might simply stay alive with Glimmer Cape, Hand of God, and Mech. And then you can really turn the fight on its head. If Epicenter is used and they don't find a kill, I simply think EG will run out of steam, at least for now, right? Because AM's teamfight contribution right now is really weak. The only thing he can do is get a good mana void if Queen of Pain is low on mana, but he can't jump into a Clinks. Like, he's going to get 4-shot if he tries to contribute to the fight until he has Manta.
Yep.
So there is definitely a timing window right here for Complexity where the fights will be more or less 5-on-4 plus mana void. And I think they're getting this top tier 2 for free. I would be very surprised if EG even try for this. They'll more likely be looking to trade for bottom tier 1 where AUI is currently pushing out with his Illus. Universe inside Sandstorm will blink out here as Meander is moving down.
Yeah, they don't have any detection. Like, that was Fly. Now they... Actually, it's the Dire Sentry ward, which is down in the mid lane. If Moonbeam actually drags his creep wave up, he's going to reveal the Observer ward here, and in fact, that's exactly what he does. So, EG actually know where Complexity's vision is. But EG also, like, this warding from Aoi, he puts an Observer ward as well as a Sentry ward down inside the Radiant jungle. This was like a very aggressive warding position for the position they're in the game.
It allows Sphere to farm the enemy jungle because he can't farm his own. So generally this is what you want to do when you're under this much pressure, is you will always see the leading team try to invade the enemy jungle and shut them down entirely. And then the logical play is just, well, okay, if they're committing so hard into our jungle, we can just trade, right? You just take theirs and it becomes an even trade after all. And everything for EG right now, if they can get an even trade in the next 10 minutes, that's what they're looking for. I think it's ambitious trying to win the next 10 minutes. But should Fear get a Manta and another item after that?
Nice hook shot down, catching out PPD. The Cold's burning, also had the Arctic burn up. So able to run himself away. Meander right behind him, PPD, the TP out, the battery assault. If you kept walking, you might have been able to reach. But the TP out in time will be saving the Winter Wyvern.
And PPD relied on the fact that it looked like Moon Meander just simply didn't follow him, so he took the chance for the TP. If he would have seen Moon Meander following him there, he wouldn't even have tried the TP.
Bottom lane, they play Ring a Rosie. There goes your dust from Universe. At least reveals him, and then Song of the Siren from Aoi. And will TP out. Universe will also get out. And Anti-Mage's Overstate is welcome. So in fact, he just creep skips a little bit behind the tier 1 tower of mid, and then moves up to the Ancient Spear. Moving quite nicely. He's managed to get at least 4 or 5 camps as they put those wards down.
This is how EG wants to and needs to play right now. He's trying to maybe backdoor the top tier 1 a bit here. No, he's going to try to cut the wave, but it's going to take a little while before it arrives.
He needs to stop the momentum on the top lane. Now that Roshan's respawned, and it's a quick respawn as well for Complexity. So timing is on their side. All this space which we're talking about, which EG need to create to make sure the Anti-Mage can farm up, can get to mana style, it's going to start to disappear very quickly.
Yeah, he's going to try for it.
He tried.
Linked in there, but he's probably going to give up on it right now. But he still forced him out. And this is a game of cat and mouse right now. It's about, can Fear jump from lane to lane without getting caught too much? So far he's doing a great job. Hasn't even died this game yet. He can keep this up, being elusive here. Still, it doesn't really feel like EG are making much of a comeback. Experience-wise, they're pretty close, but the goal is
this could be
kind of stalling out.
Blink away by Swindelmelons, but Universe and Samal, they're still right behind it. Blink forward, the Light Strike Array as well is going to connect. Swindelmelons, they need to Laguna him, and the Cold, actually, they just let the Curse go. That's a big kill. PVD will take it. But that Queen of Pain was getting completely out of control, and this actually moves the Anti-Mage into the #1 net worth position.
This is where, if you're Complexity, you need to be careful with not slowing down too much. They've played a very, very good super early game, but their strategy just has a weakness when we come to minute 35. Unless if they can secure Zizzy to be able to attack during the entire fight, he can still do a great job against AM. This is a very good step in the right direction.
Yep, taking out Roshan.
Easily claiming the Roche here. 23 minutes in.
That's with the Aegis.
Close to BKB as well. I wonder if he's going to go for a crest actually after that, or if he just keeps the medallion. But BKB, I agree with him.
You almost look at Complexity's point of this game right now, and I don't think he wants to plan for another item after this. Like, get the BKB, push up and take a Rax. The only reason you're getting another item is because you're looking to prepare yourself to go in again on EG space. If they waited any longer, like you said, 35 minutes being a big mark, they kind of have to go sometime soon. Sumail also have to be careful when Fly's moving around that close. He's got Blink Dagger as well as the Glimmer Cape.
And we were wondering what Swindle was going to go for. It's going to be an Octarine for this looks right now, I do not think this would be a Bloodstone. I think it really...
It wouldn't make much sense.
It's a weird position to buy Bloodstone in, I think. So, Octarine... I don't know. I'm not completely sold on that item on Queen of Pain just yet. I've seen it picked up in a couple of games. I think it can be great sometimes. Of course, lowering the cooldown of his ultimate even further, so it's going to be down to 30 when he does have that, which, I mean, it's great. And the blink cooldown would be very low as well. But generally, Queen of Pain's impact in these team fights is going to be, one big burst, and then you have to kill 1 or 2 key targets. And Octarine Core doesn't really help with that burst, whereas you could be looking at something like perhaps considering a Refresher for a really big burst output, a BKB for more flexibility with how you engage, or even the Hex for added utility. Octarine is a little bit of an odd one out, which gets like exponentially better the more items you have. It also reduces the cooldown of them, but he has no active items apart from Bottle 1 and Treads, so
yeah.
It's not really that useful right now.
It's the no disable lineup built from him. I suppose at the same time he's got fly for his disables as well as the Chen, but I'm still waiting for this push to come. Like Complexity, they were moving across the...
Yeah, it's really stopped right now. It's very, very stopped. But yeah, I agree. This is a classic EG game, though. They're very good at playing the defensive waiting game where they farm up a heavy one position for fear. They've done this multiple times before. They have great high ground defense. Historically, it's been... the old EG with Mason on it, there were a couple of strategies for EG that revolved around having like the most absurd amount of team fight and a mega hard carry, like a Naga, Siren, or an Anti-Mage, and they would play like Sand King and Tidehunter and Enigma in the same lineup, something like that. Just, how do you high ground against that, right?
Yeah.
Times have changed. It's not as good anymore. But there's still, there's still some leftovers here that you really favor their team fight heroes here for, of course, Universe, and this time around the Windsor Wyvern.